What is poppin', y'all? Welcome back to the DeAndre Way. Merry Christmas and soon to be Happy New Year. What is poppin', y'all? Welcome back to the DeAndre Way. Merry Christmas. I hope y'all had a happy holiday so far and preparing for the new year and whatnot. And this day is very exciting. It has been very anticipated for a couple years at this point. Squid Game Season 2 is underway. Netflix just dropped 7 episodes. I thought they were going to do 1 or 2 at a time, maybe a package of 3, but they just said, hey, we dropping it all. Drop it like it's hot, like Snoop Dogg. And so I was like, shoot, I got to get through these episodes. I'm not the biggest binge watcher, but I'm going to try and get through, hopefully these before New Year's Day. And we gonna recap it along the way. So I'm excited. Just finished the first episode. It was crazy as hell. That's all I'm gonna say on that before we get into it. And I appreciate y'all for sticking with me before we get into it. 3,000 followers. We just hit it. 3,000 subscribers on YouTube. We just hit it. Thank you guys so much for everyone who's watching, tuned in, along for the ride. My goal at the end of this year was 2,000. I had 1,000 by the end of last year, and I was like, okay, I just want to double each year. And we hit 3K today, right before the New Year, so I'm happy. And so I'm going to try and double it for next year, 6K. And if we exceed that, then I will be very happy. So thank you guys once again for being with me all year. This is around the time of year we started doing the podcasting with Squid Game, the challenge, and then following up with the rest of the different shows and TV series and vlogs and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And now we pretty much have a good system on how we doing it. And I'm excited for the things to come, y'all. So thank you for tuning in. And I really, really do appreciate every single one of y'all. So we going to get into it, y'all. Squid Game Season 2. As you can see, I'm not in my normal studio. I'm actually in Orlando, Florida right now. I will be going to the Gaylord Hotel in a couple hours, so excited about that. But yes, I just finished watching the first episode, and man, my initial reaction was, dang, the storytelling in this show, I think, is unmatched. A lot of little hints that Americans I don't think will get the subtleties, just because it's culture references and whatnot. But just the little clues and the way the camera pans to certain things, if you notice or don't notice, it definitely, it just amazes me. Every single time with this, I remember watching Parasite, that as well. They just do it differently over there in Korea now. Now, if I get the opportunity to do a movie out there, then hey, it's gonna be on and popping. But definitely this first episode left me shook. Was not ready for all the chaos that ensued. Was not prepared for this game of Russian roulette that was going down. And our man 456 Gohan, he's not fazed by none of this. He's ready to get down and dirty, and he got the eye of the tiger in him, and he's ready to go. So we left off with 456 winning the game, of course, the Squid Game, and he did not get on the plane to go live his happily ever after. Now, he got paid all the money with the credit card. Now, getting on the plane, that could have been the easy way out. Flow off to the sunset. Live happily ever after. But legends will be remembered forever, and he will be a legend if he unravels what is going down and transpiring and puts them all on blast. So I'm down for the cause. Now. He risking his life, and he just got the money. But hey, it's just a risk he's willing to take because he's went through a traumatic experience that nobody else can relate to, and he doesn't want anyone else to have to go through this tragic, rigorous course of events again. So salute to that man for that. And so he said the guy, I forget his name. The guy in the walkie-talkie radio, I'm assuming the front man, I believe. He says, "You gonna regret not getting on that plane, coach." He's like, "Nah, man, y'all ain't flying me first class, so I'm out here, y'all. I'm back." And I don't know why his hair was pink. we never got that backstory. If anyone knows the backstory, I would like to know. But we did not get that answer, and that was one of my biggest questions off this episode. Okay, he had it pink, and now it's not. But maybe it was a marketing thing. But they said, nah, we're going to scratch that because it seemed kind of goofy. I don't know. I truly don't. And so he soon goes to this bathroom, and he knows that he's being followed. You know, he says, because right when he leaves the plane, they're like, you should have got on the plane. Well, how else would they know that? They got somebody following him and spying him. How are they keeping track of his whereabouts? Must have a tracker on him somehow. And so, you know, he goes to the bathroom and searches his whole body, and then looks at the back of his ear and finds that there's like a dark spot. And he realizes, okay, this got to be it. So he gets like a little knife. Now, I don't think I guess this could be possible, but he cuts the back of his ear, no hesitation, and gets the tracker out just like that. I'm just like, dang. When I seen that, I was like, all right, we in for a season, y'all. We getting the blood and gore off the get-go. And the little boy coming to the bathroom, he shook. He don't know what's going down, and he's like, I just need a few minutes, player. Then you can come in here and take care of your business. But it's time for the games to begin. And so soon we cut to the brother that got shot over the cliff, Jun Ho, by his brother In Ho, the front man. And Jun Ho is in the hospital. You know, he got recovered, and I predicted this. I said that I did not think that he would not come back. I thought he survived the fall because we never saw him completely die. We just saw him get shot in the shoulder, boom, and now he's back. So that isn't the biggest surprise to me, I'd say. I was expecting that because he has to finish this story arc. And all the characters who never saw completely their death, like them on the ground, them deceased, they could have a chance to return. So I have a feeling there might be another couple of players returning, but we'll see. And so yes, he's trying to recap of what's going down in his head and just get back to what's popping. And he's now a cop, and you know he's giving people. He's one of those cops. You know, we hate them that's giving out week tickets for going 5 over the speed limit. He's an op now, and dang, that just goes to show you that he went to the dark side. And 456 soon has a horrific dream, Gohan, about the front man at his door, and with the 2 chopped off heads of the last 2 players, the runner-up and the first runner-up of Squid Game, the girl and the man that he fought in the Squid Game. And it was pretty crazy. I was like, oh, snap. And I had a feeling it was a dream. There's no way that I don't think that would be popping like that. You know, you walking through the heads chopped off in that fashion. But yeah, he's having dreams and nightmares, and he's like, okay, I got to get this thing solved now. And so he soon gets in contact with his old loan shark, Mr. Kim, and he hires him and a bunch of his goons to figure out and find the man in the suit who originally had him play the Dachi game to enter the Squid Game and gave him the card and whatnot. Now, Mr. Kim, he's stressing out because all the people who owed him money are missing, and he's trying to find the guy who's taken all of them. He's trying to find out all these people who's ducking and dodging, but they just magically been plucked from the face of the universe. I don't blame this man. Look, some people owe me money. I'm going to find them as well. So Mr. Kim and me, we thinking alike in this aspect of things. But you a loan shark, they're gonna find a way to swim away. But yes, Gohan hires him, and he's like, hey, you find this guy, I'm gonna give you $500 million. What's the currency? The currency. I missed that part. Not yeah. $500 million of the currency, or half of the winnings of the currency. I believe 500 million of the currency is the prize for whoever catches this guy. And he's like, bet, like that'll let me ride off into the sunset, you know? And so he has a meeting with all his little henchmen about the description of the man in the suit. And it's funny because they got this dude in like a mannequin setting with a suit on, the mannequin, and then they have like a paper drawing of his face. Y'all, I was dying at this thing. I was just like, bruh. I guess they don't have a description, but it's how are you able to tell? You know, maybe that was just like a funny little excerpt. You know, Squid Game does have some funny moments in it, I will say. It's not all doom and gloom and serious, which I wish the challenge would have added some more funny moments. But, yes, there is these moments that I'm just cracking up at, like the girl with the ticket, and she's trying to flirt with the police officer to get away from the ticket. And, you know, just a few things in this episode definitely broke up the monotony. I think that's brilliant and genius because it's not just one mood entirety of the entire show. It's definitely levels to this. So they have the meeting. They're like, all right, we need to find this guy. He's in a suit. He got a briefcase. He got some dachi. He got this card. Take a picture of him. We're going to go set out. We got about 30, 40 of us. Every day we out here. Whoever gets the prize, getting 500, getting half 500 million of the prize. 500,000? 500 million, I believe. So, yes. And soon they set out and they're off to the races. And then Jun Ho, our brother that got shot, he goes on a boat to find the island that he got shot in. And he's trying to unsolve the mystery or solve the mystery as well about what happened and what's going down. Because he's just as lost and confused as anybody else. Now, this time we're going back and forth between the two story arcs before they collide. But yes, we pan back to the boat, then we get to the goons on the subway, interrogating everybody that they can find. You know, every man, because the drawing didn't really specify, like the dude in particular. They said he's tall and that's about it. Searching through innocent people's bag. It's getting crazy up in here, y'all. Like New York City. I mean, if this happened in New York, somebody getting popped. But I guess they don't have conceal and carry in Korea. So we soon see the goons taking selfies on their phones. They have to prove where they're at. That was a nice little detail that they had in there. And they're all relaying these messages back to Go Hunt. Because he's in his car just on the top of the hill, overseeing the whole city, like he's the mob lord. And he's just chilling. And essentially 2 years pass, and they're doing this every single day. 2 years go by. It's the just amount of the time that Squid Game Season 1 came out in comparison to Season 2. So I like that detail. I think it was like 3 years, actually. But something along that matter. And they're on the verge of giving up. You know, they can't find this guy. It seems hopeless. You're looking for something that you don't even know if it exists when it comes to the goons. And all of a sudden, Mr. Kim and his assistant henchman, Woo Seok, finally find the suit man, Gong Yu, playing dachi with this dude. And they're like, all right, we got him. I was like, oh, snap. This is where we getting started, y'all. This is where it's getting real. And they go after him. And they contact Gohan, and they're like, all right, we found this dude. Let's get it popping and cracking. Rush hour setting. So they track him. They're following him. And the suit man, Gong Yu, soon goes to the park and offers a homeless man two things. Some food or $1 million scratch-off ticket. Now, look, y'all, my mom is in love with these scratch-off tickets. She buys them for me every single Christmas. She gave me a few recently, yesterday. And I was like, why do you keep buying these? They're a waste of money. They're rigged. They don't win. One out of every, billion would win anything, if that. And so, with this offer, this man is seeing, I think, their desperation level. The thing is, I think behind this game, you're offering them some food, some bread, a piece of bread, or a chance to win $1 million. And they all keep picking this $1 million. And I think the premise behind this, there's a premise behind everything in these things. If you take the $1 million, you're not really using your brain. You're worried about something that is so impossible that you're willing to make stupid decisions based on something that you see rather than using your brain. Comparison to picking the food, something that you need that shows, okay, I'm willing to just eat to survive. I'm going to do whatever it takes rather than do the logical decision and follow, the life rules is you need food to eat rather than, hopefully winning $1 million scratch off ticket. And I think, this test was basically, okay, if you take the food, you're willing to play along with me because you see the bigger picture, because these scratch offs ain't going to win you $1 million. Like, let's be real. But these homeless people, they're blinded by seeing the $1 million sign on these tickets. And so he's going out to everyone, and everyone keeps picking the $1 million lottery ticket, $1 million lottery ticket, $1 million lottery ticket, or scratch off ticket, should I say. And soon he goes to the middle. I thought this part was funny too. He goes to the middle of the park and just starts stomping, empties the bag full of the rest of the food, and starts stomping on the rest of the food like crazy, losing his mind. This man is lost himself in the music at this point, and he gives some little speech to the people, and then he's like, "I'm out here, y'all." And it was funny just because the two goons, Mr. Kim and his goon, was watching as well, and they were just like, "Whoa, like, interesting." And it is interesting that he did not go up to them, but I think he saw that they were not like homeless or anything. Like, it's easy to tell a homeless person look like, so he went to the desperate looking people, and they seemingly weren't desperate enough if they weren't taking the food, and they need that desperate people to be in the Squid Game because that's what he's looking for. And so the guy takes off, and the goons soon go after him. But as Gohan is coming to the park, he gets pulled over by Jun Ho because he's speeding, keep giving out petty speeding tickets. And, he's taking his time, just giving the ticket. He has his assistant go up there. So he doesn't actually go up to the car, but his cop assistant does because he's training him. And he gets the ticket, 60,000 yen. I think that's yen. I got to redo it. I'm sorry, y'all. The currency. And he takes off. Now, that's a lot to me for a ticket. But, look, I don't know the currency disparity between that and U.S. dollars. So maybe I should research that. But he doesn't get there in time. And the two men are now following this suit man, Gong Yo, down an alley. So they're going down the alley after him. They're like, should we go after him? He keeps getting away and we don't want to lose him. And we might as well catch him as long as we don't, kill him or nothing like that. We'll still get the money. Because the worst they could do is lose him and not have anything to show for their hard efforts. And so they go after the suit man, Go Young, and they try and get him 2-on-1. But this man knows some jiu-jitsu, taekwondo. He might have had his black Air Force Ones up in the cut. I don't know, but he was stomping these dudes out easy. I don't get it. He was Neo from the Matrix, but he took 2-on-1. No sweat about it. Still didn't get a wrinkle in his suit, and he captures the two men, Mr. Kim and Sik, his henchmen. I pronounce these names horribly, y'all. I apologize. I was like, oh, snap. And so now he has them in this room, and they're tied up, gagged in the mouth. And he said, okay, we're going to play a little game. Saw settings. A game of Russian roulette. Now, if you don't know what Russian roulette is, basically, it's a game to the death. You get a gun. A gun has 6 bullet chambers in it. You pull a bullet in one of the chambers, spin the chamber, load the gun, or check the gun, and then, shoot it. And if it goes off, of course, that person's dead. But if it doesn't, then you get another spin. And that's how it works. So that's the game that they're playing. And in order to decide who is getting shot, they must play paper, rock, scissors with 2 hands. And so basically how it is you play rock, paper, scissors with both your hands and say, I do scissors and paper. And then he says, take one away. And I take one away, then that's my one I'm using. I've never played rock, paper, scissors like that before. It's a very interesting wrinkle. Very, very interesting wrinkle. So I was like, wow, this is pretty innovative. And it's interesting how they do this And then at the end of our Squid Game, the challenge, we did rock, paper, scissors with Mai and Phil. So I thought that was very peculiar. I was like, interesting. Very, very interesting. So, because I don't believe they did that in the original Squid Game. So, I know Phil and Mai, or at least Phil's having PTSD right now watching that first episode. But, yeah, they keep doing that and whatnot. And so they keep hitting blanks with the gun. They're it's not going through. And he's like, okay, we're gonna step it up a notch. So now he puts 5 bullets in the chamber. Now there's only 1 open slot. So definitely, whoever gets lit up next, and loses the rock paper scissors, they're the ones that's gonna have to suffer the immense consequence. And it's funny because the first 4 times in a row, they get the same exact stalemate, like rock, paper, scissors, scissors. Couldn't tell if they were doing that on purpose, but it was a smart strategy. But then, they get the opposite ones, and soon the goon, which we found out earlier, he just got married. He's seemingly the loser of the game, because I believe he picked 2 rocks. And Mr. Kim picked a paper and a scissors. And so he just has to pull the paper and he wins. But when it's time to take one away, he does not take one away. And he essentially spares the goon's life and, takes his own. Because it was his fault that they got caught up anyways, because he was the one saying, let's go catch this guy. Let's not wait. And he got them in this predicament in the first place. So that was very honor and noble of him to do that. And yeah, it's definitely it was a tragic scene, but the suit man did not show any mercy and blew the man's brains out. So now after that. And they have the operatic background music in the back, which is symbolic with Squid Game. So definitely it was a theme of it as well in the ending of this first episode. And so soon, 4, 5, 6, Gohan is finally getting able to track down the suit man. And they have sit down face to face. And it's revealed that the suit man used to work in the games. He used to be one of the people to burn the dead bodies. And he had an instance of telling a story that he once had to have a scenario to where one of the contestants, I think, was supposed to be eliminated, and it was his father. And he had to face his father and kill his father. He was one of the contestants. And he said, once I did that and shot him dead blank in the face, I was cut out for this job, baby. I've found my calling. I was just like, Jesus, this got deep real quick. It was wild. It was wild, y'all. It was wild. It was definitely... I wish we got a flashback scene of this, if they wanted to implement that, but it was deep. It was very deep, and you want to kill your own father, point blank, in cold blood. Shoot, you have no problem killing some strangers. So, I don't know where he got his karate technique from, but I wanted to hear that story as well. But yes, that was crazy. And then they decide, Mr. Suitman and our protagonist Gohan, 456, to play their own version of Russian roulette. But this time, they're just playing spin the bottle with spin the gun, essentially. And whoever the gun points at, that's the person who gets to take the first blow at the other. And they have 1 bullet in the 6-round chamber. But I believe after the first one it goes to, they're just passing it back and forth instead of just keeping on spinning. I thought they were just going to keep spinning the gun, but they weren't. And... yeah, they go back and forth, and then it's down to 2 bullets left. 2 bullets left. And this scene is epic, y'all. This scene needs to win an award because just the patience with it, the tempo with it, I was shaking like, you know, when your foot is just shaking because you're a little anxious. I was doing that this whole scene because it was very tense. And our suit man just kept, and he kept egging on Gohan. He was like, "You're just a weakling. You got lucky in the Squid Game. You ain't really nobody. You ain't this. You ain't that." And he's like, "Bro, you ain't nothing. You just another hole and trash in the garbage can." And he's like, "All right." And so he pulls it and nothing. And so now it's time. We know what time it is. He hands the gun back to the suit man and he's like, "What you gonna do? You can shoot me if you want, but you're just a pawn in these people's games. You are just a servant to your master. You a dog. You have nothing. You are nothing. So what are you gonna do?" And he's right. Corporate America. He's working for a corporate entity. He has to do what his boss is told. And a lot of people. This is a symbolism. A lot of people are slaves to their bosses. A lot of people are underlings to the company managers and the presidents, and do whatever it is that they ask, even if it's at the detriment of their own being, which is not good. That's I work for myself. I do my own thing on here. I try not to be a slave to anyone. I work with people, for people sometimes, but never permanently to the point where I can't say no. I'm always having an option if I want to do it or I don't want to do it. And I love that. And, it was symbolic for me in that instance for, American culture, essentially. And, yeah, he gives him the gun and he eventually offs himself. No more suit man. He's gone. And that's the end of the first episode. Y'all, this episode was crazy. Crazy. And we ain't even getting the Squid Game yet. But yeah, y'all, let me know what you think of this first episode. I wasn't expecting the Russian roulette game. That would have been a cool thing to put in Squid Game, the challenge, I think. Maybe, obviously not with the real gun, but I think that was kind of like a dice, kind of similar, if you want to compare it to a certain degree. But yeah, that this season, people said it's not going to be as good as season one. It's not going to be as good as season one. I think this season might top season one, and that's saying something. Now, I don't know if there's only 7 episodes. I feel like there's one more, and they're waiting to release that one. I don't know, but I'm gonna do my research. Maybe there is 7, but first season had 8 or 9 episodes. So I'm hoping we can get at least 10 out of this one, but we'll see. But anyways, y'all, thank you so much for joining me. We're going to be back with episode 2 soon. And this season, it's on and cracking. So till next time, y'all. Peace, blessings, deuces, and we out here.